Hey friends, come on in the kitchen with me. You know, I'm standing up here at the island, and this is at Dogwood. You know, our very first house that Michael and I built when we first married. My show was shot in this kitchen for years. And then we built a house down the road, and we lived there for like 11 years or maybe almost 12. But anyway, we decided it was time to sell, that it was just too much property for us, and we're getting a little older, and we wanted to, wait, now let me see if I can say the word. If I really think about it, I can say it. Minimalist. I said it right, didn't I, Eddie?
You did it.
I have a hard time saying that word. So I said, well, if I can't say it, I might not be able to do it. But that's what I want to do at this age and time of my life. So we're doing some things that we want to do at Dogwood, and we're going to be moving back in here, gosh, probably not too long after the new year. And Michael and I are real excited about it. So I am using my old kitchen for the new shows, and I know there's probably people on YouTube or what's that other one, Eddie?
Facebook and Instagram.
Instagram.
We have.
You know, y'all might not know a lot of my history. You might know my name, but not a lot about my history. So I just wanted to give y'all a 5-cent tour of how we got back into this kitchen. So this is the kitchen that you will see as long as I live. Because Michael and I ain't moving again, honey. To move from River Bend, it was quite a task. And if you don't believe me, turn that camera around and Eddie will tell you. It was hard, wasn't it, Eddie? It was so hard.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake. A big piece of cake. I think it was a whole cake, Eddie. So anyway, it's after Thanksgiving. Now what are we going to do with all these leftovers? If you're anything like me, I guess it depends on what area of the country you live in. But I tell you what, I don't want to see a casserole for at least 3 months after Thanksgiving, because everybody brings a casserole. So I usually don't have a whole bunch of turkey left, although sometimes I do. Often I'll roast a turkey and then deep fry a turkey. So, and I do love leftovers on my turkey for sandwiches. And minestrone soup. That's an Italian soup that is so good. It's like an Italian's version of a vegetable soup, you know, that we would make. And Eddie and I was discussing, I said, now Eddie, I've always called it minestrone. He said, no, I think it's minestrone. I said, well, can we go ask, what's her name? Siri, if she knows how to pronounce it correctly. And so she did. She sent us to this website, and it is minestrone. Not often I'm right when it comes to the words. So, I've got all of this beautiful leftover turkey. I've got chicken stock or turkey stock, whatever you have, it really doesn't matter. I've got 4 slices of chopped bacon, and I've got my little pan heating up. So I'm gonna go ahead and start browning our bacon, and that's gonna season our minestrone. So good. It's gonna be so good. All right, and after we get our bacon cooked, all right, I'm gonna turn this up a little bit now that I'm having to get used to the stove all over again, y'all. I always had a hard time trying to figure out which eye was which. I knew that this one was there, so I use that one most of the time. But we're gonna let that get nice and brown and crispy, and then I'm gonna pull it out, and then we're gonna put in our vegetables and saute those. And it's onion, zucchini, celery, spinach, cantellini beans, Eddie, is that how you pronounce that one?
Yeah, I think so.
3 tablespoons of tomato paste, little Parmesan cheese for us to sprinkle our serving when we dip it up, and 1 bay leaf. So this is just a very general group of vegetables, but you can put anything you want to in it. But this is more what the Italians do. And since I love Italian cooking so much, I want it to be like they would prepare it. So it's gonna take just a few minutes for the bacon. And we're gonna leave that bacon rendering, we're gonna leave that in the pot because that'll give us a little something to saute our vegetables, cook our vegetables in. You know, if I had had like a whole turkey leg left over after I add my stock and everything, I would probably have dropped a turkey leg down in there too and let it cook in that stock, and that would just make it a little bit richer. Okay, so it's a cooking, Eddie. I don't know if you can see down in there. Our bacon got nice and brown and crisp. Beautiful. And look at the rendering from that few slices of bacon. That is like gold. Like gold, honey. All right, so I'm gonna add our onions, our celery, our zucchini, y'all, Teresa found the neatest bowls at one of the dollar stores. They look like glass, but they're plastic. I love them. All right, we're adding our fresh garlic. Let's see, I think that's it for right this second. And I'll be adding the bay leaf in a few minutes. Ooh, this is already smelling right, y'all. All right, I'm gonna add some, oh, we're about out of house seasoning, Eddie.
Yes, yes, I do know.
I was gonna, okay, I got a little bit up. So I'm actually gonna add some regular salt and regular pepper. This is very fine ground black pepper, isn't it? It's not like our coarse. Okay. So we just want to stir that around in that bacon, in the renderings from the bacon. And it looks good. Let's see what my eye is on. And I still can't hardly read that. But you know, along with leftover turkey, there's also some nippy weather in the air. A little cold in the air. So this minestrone is gonna warm you down to your very inside soul. And it's just a nice comfort food along with some good old buttered, warm French bread. To dip down in there and squish it around, and oh my goodness, it's gonna be so good. And with very little effort and very little money. Right, Eddie? All right, let's see. We're going to add our tomato paste. And we're going to mix that well because this is kind of a reddish brown soup. So that's where we're going to get the reddish brown color from, our tomato paste. That looks like Christmas colors in that pot, Eddie, doesn't it?
Time to start decorating.
I know. We've all kind of been locked in our house, and you would think that that would cause times to go very, very slowly. But it sped by, didn't it, Eddie?
This year has gone, actually it has gone by very quickly on some months, but then some months have really dragged, I think.
Which months do you think dragged?
Well, October was the month that would never end with trying to get out of that house.
It was a piece of cake, though, y'all. Piece of cake. All right. Now we're going to add the turkey and the beans. And I've already put in the bay leaf and the stock. And we're going to bring that all to a ball. Gotta go to the dollar store and get you some of these plastic bowls. Then put them in the trash when you're done. No doing dishes. I'm gonna add what we think is cannellini. Cannellini. What did I say the first time, Eddie?
I think it cannellini, yeah.
Well, it sounded right the very first time I said it. All right, so our turkey, the recipe calls for 2 cups of turkey. I would say I probably, put closer to 3 cups in it. And I love, to me that looks like I know they say to use a cannellini bean, but it looks like a great northern bean to me, which is one of my favorite beans in the world.
The smell is just wonderful.
Isn't it wonderful? I mean, this is just so hearty, and it's definitely an Italian comfort food. Don't you think, Eddie?
Yes. That, the bacon, it kind of smells like a wood-burning fire.
It does, doesn't it? It does. If we use our imagination, it does. Now, it said to use, I love this little pasta. It called for, come on, help me, Eddie. Ditalini?
I'm not sure I can
Ditalini. Ditalini. So this southern voice would call it, wait, I'm trying to think what I'd call it. Looks like digital, but it's not digital. Ditalini. That's what it are. I don't know what the heck it's called, y'all. But you will be able to find it at your grocery store because Teresa didn't have any trouble finding ours. So I know you won't have any trouble either. So we've got all of our ingredients in there. And at the last minute, we are gonna stir in the spinach and the cheese. Because, spinach, it takes, 20 seconds to cook that. So we're gonna let our pasta get to where it needs to be. And most recipes will tell you al dente. Personally, I don't like al dente. I don't like that to the tooth stuff. I like for mine to be kind of soft. And I can just mash it and just mash up with my tongue and my teeth. I just like it that way. I don't want it in my tooth. I want it in my tummy. So, we'll have our finished product in maybe like 20 minutes, Eddie. That should be plenty of time for our pasta to cook. So I'm just gonna cover this up and let it do its magic. Okay, y'all. Smells like a restaurant in this kitchen. It smells so good. Our pasta is very well cooked. Look at, and I found out how to pronounce that one, y'all. Ditalini. Did I say it right?
That's it.
Ditalini! We went on the web to find out, and Eddie checked 2 or 3 different people, and their pronunciation was a little different, wasn't it, Eddie?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm fixing to stir in our 4 cups of roughly chopped spinach. In fact, I've already turned the eye off. This is nice and thick. In fact, I could almost stand a little bit more stock, Eddie. All right, and we're gonna add our Parmesan cheese. And I'm gonna turn this back on. And we're gonna let it cook for just a couple more minutes. Isn't that a beautiful pot of soup? And the recipe tells you to have some additional Parmesan cheese to put on the top of it so it'll be real extra pretty. Okay, yes. Yes, Teresa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because how many of y'all gonna want a little bowl? 3? 3 of us? Okay, I need 1 more bowl. This is beautiful. And so I just tell you to stir in the spinach and the cheese and then season with salt and pepper. Well, I seasoned this pot earlier and I tasted it and it's perfect. I didn't have to add another thing to it. Okay, Teresa, you didn't get the other bowl.
Eddie, are these the ones that you
Yeah.
have?
All right, so here goes the magic.
You want some,
Parmesan
Eddie?
cheese on top.
Well, I'll get some later.
Yes, Eddie wants some. He's been smelling this. Putting our bacon, a little of our bacon on the top. And look at that. Teresa, you can sit down right over there and eat. And Eddie, I'm fixing to dip yours up, honey. Mike, would you eat some, now I'm not talking to my husband, Mike. I'm talking to another Mike. The other Mike, y'all have met him. Would you eat some minestrone soup?
That does not sound like something I would eat.
Even if I told you I got it from the place that's got arches?
I was still not. But I appreciate the offer.
Well, you're just so welcome. All right, y'all grab it and growl. I'm fixing to dip me a bowl. Is this just not comfort food? Is as you can get. All right, so there's a little bit of cheese there. A little bit of that crispy brown bacon. And of course a nice chunk of French bread.
And such a great way to use your turkey. Your
I
leftovers.
know, I know. You might want to just cook a turkey for minestrone soup. You already eating, it's hot.
I know. I'm hungry. I'm not
Teresa's
shy.
been working hard. She did all the prep for everything. Teresa, isn't that wonderful?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And here's a little nip in the air.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
Yes, which makes this taste even better.
No better, as you would say.
Mm-hmm. Eddie, Can I film you tasting yours? No? Well, y'all trust me and Teresa. This stuff is good. Love it. Best dishes. And you're going to be really, really happy that you had that leftover turkey. Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.